So we should not use the calculator in this question. Solve the equation 3 minus 5 into root 3x squared plus 2 root 3 plus 5x minus 1 equals to 0. So clearly we can say it's a quadratic equation which is given in the general form. The general form of a quadratic equation would look something like ax squared plus bx plus c equals to 0. And we need to write down the final solution in the form of a plus b into root 3. And again, this a and this a are not the same. So that's a different thing. So whenever we talk about solving a quadratic equation, so we should either go with the method of splitting the middle term and factorizing it, or we should use the quadratic formula. So whenever I have a quadratic equation like that, the quadratic formula would go something like that. X is equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. And now when I compare these two things, so in place of a, we have 3 minus 5 into root 3. And in place of b, we clearly have it. So when you compare it, so it's 2 into root 3 plus 5. And in place of c, we have negative 1. So when I substitute this one, so this is what we will be getting at. So x is equals to minus b. So that means it's going to be minus of 2 into root 3 plus 5 plus or minus into square root of b square. So that's basically 2 into root 3 plus 5 whole square minus 4 into a. A is nothing but 3 minus 5 into root 3. Then I have minus 1. That's basically C. And entire thing divided by 2 into A is nothing but 3 minus 5 times root 3. And we have to simplify this. So this minus, I need to multiply to both. So that's going to be minus 2 into root 3 minus 5. Then I'll be having plus or minus square root of, if I expand this one, so 2 root 3 plus 5 whole square. So using a plus b whole square. So 2 root 3 whole square has to be 4 into 3, which is 12, plus, which is nothing but I'm expanding that using the identity. A plus b whole square is equals to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Plus 2ab would be 2 times 2 into root 3 plus 5. Plus b square is nothing but 5 square, which is 25. And this is going to be, first of all, minus 4 into minus 1 would be positive 4, and positive 4 times 12, that positive 4 times 3 would be positive 12. Then positive 4 times 5 root 3 would be positive 20 root 3. Oh, and there is a negative here, so that's why this has to be negative 20 root 3. And entire thing divided by, if I simplify the denominator, I'll be getting 6 minus 10 root 3. Now, if you observe this very clearly, this 2 times 2 is 4, and 4 times 5 is 20. So positive 20 root 3 and negative 20 root 3 can get cancelled out. So these two things will get cancelled out here very clearly. And after that, so what I'll be getting is, so x is equals to, I'll be having minus 2 into root 3 minus 5 plus or minus, I have positive 12, 4 times 3 is 12, and plus 12. So 12 times 12 is 24, and 24 plus 25. So 24 plus 25 is nothing but 49. So I'll be having square root of 49 and entire thing divided by, so I'll be having 6 minus 10 times root 3. Now, here there are two different solutions. So the first solution would be, so this is plus or minus. So x would be equals to minus 2 into root 3 minus 5 plus root 49 is nothing but 7 and divided by 6 minus 10 into root 3. Or another solution would be, minus 2 into root 3 minus 5 minus 7 and entire thing divided by 6 minus 10 into root 3. So these are the two different solutions that we have it, and we need to think about solving them. So if I first of all simplify the numerator here, so x would be equals to, so minus 5 plus 7 is 2. So it's going to be 2 minus 2 into root 3. And in the denominator, let me take this 2 common out itself. So that's going to be 3 minus 5 root 3. So that I can also factorize 2 common out in the numerator and I can cancel it out. Or here, it's going to be minus 12 minus 12 minus 2 into root 3. And in the denominator, if I factorize 2 common out, so it's going to be 3 minus 5 into root 3. So here, when you take 2 common out, so your the 2 can get cancelled out. Of course, you have to take common out and then cancel it. So you will be left with just 1 minus root 3 for the first part. And the second part, you will be just left with minus 6 minus root 3. Now, but the final answer, we should give it in the form of a plus b into root 3. So in order to give it in this format, so what we should do is, so we have to think about rationalizing the sum. So when I rationalize this, let's see how it goes. So whenever we talk about rationalizing it, we should multiply it with the conjugation of the denominator, which is basically I need to multiply it with 3 plus 5 root 3. Of course, I need to multiply and divide with that. And I'll do the same thing for this one. 3 plus 5 root 3 and divided by 3 plus 5 root 3. Now, when I think about simplifying this one further, so it would go something like this. So x would be equals to, in the numerator, I have 1 minus root 3 times that. So first of all, I'll multiply 1 to each and everything. So 1 times 3 would be 3, plus 1 times 5 root 3 would be just 5 root 3. Then I have minus root 3 times that. So minus root 3 times 3 would be minus 3 into root 3. Then minus root 3 times 5 into root 3 would be minus 5 times root 3 times root 3 would be 3. And entire thing divided by, the denominator looks like a minus b into a plus b. The identity for a minus b into a plus b would be a square minus b square. So that's going to be a square is nothing but 9 minus b square is nothing but 25 times 3. And this is what I'll be having it. Similarly, on the other side, so minus 6, I have to multiply it to both. So minus 6 times 3 would be minus 18. Then minus 6 times positive 5, that's going to be minus 30 into root 3. Then minus root 3 times 3 would be minus 3 root 3. Then I'll be having minus root 3 times that one has to be. It's going to be minus 5 into root 3. And entire thing divided by the denominator would be same as this one. So it's going to be 9 minus 25 times 3. So this one, when I simplify the numerator, so 3 minus 15. So what is the result for 3 minus 15? So 3 minus 15 has to be minus 12. Minus 12, and here I'll be getting positive 2 into root 3. And in the denominator, so we will be having it something like that. Denominator would be 9 minus 70, minus 75. That would be minus 66. So this thing, we can also split it as minus 12 over minus 66. Then plus 2 into root 3 over minus 66. And this is going to give us the result as. So minus and minus can get cancelled out. So 6 2s are and 6 11s are. So I'll be getting 2 over 11. Then minus 2 1s are 233. So minus root 3 over 33. So this is one possible answer. So where the value of a has to be 2 over 11 and b has to be minus 1 over 33. So the other possible answer, we can get it from here. So it's going to be minus 18. Oh, this one has to be. So minus root 3 times 5 into root 3 has to be minus 5 times just root 3 times root 3 would be 3, which is 15. So that's going to be minus 18, then minus 18, then minus 15. So that's going to be minus 33. Then here too, I have minus 33 into root 3. And because the denominator is minus 66, I can also divide it to both the other stuff separately. So in that case, I'll be getting, so this is minus and minus will get cancelled out. So I'll just get 1 over 2. And this is plus root 3 by 2. Now, these are the final two possible answers. And here I'm just cancelling it out like this. So 33 ones are, 33 twos are, so the same thing here. So now the mark scheme, the marks distribution for this particular sum goes something like that. In total, it's a 6-marker question. So figuring out that we need to use a quadratic formula and substituting it in a quadratic formula. So basically this particular step can give you 1 mark. And simplifying this step by basically expanding the parentheses properly and simplifying it. So basically this particular step so can give you another mark, the second mark. And figuring out there are two possible solutions for x, not only one. So splitting up this plus or minus, the steps can award 1 more mark. And splitting them and making sure that we are basically rationalizing it in order to get rid of a square root in the denominator. So getting this particular step correct would award 1 mark. And the final two possible answers. So there are two possible answers here. So that's why. So getting this part correct, getting this answer correct gives you 1 mark, and getting this answer correct gives you another mark. So in total, it's a 6 mark.